Today on Bench Briefs, we're looking at a fascinating Supreme Court of Canada decision that touches on the delicate balance between expert evidence and an accused's right to a fair trial. The case is R.V. Cody, decided in 2017, and it raises important questions about how courts handle psychiatric evidence in criminal trials. So, what happened in this case? Mr. Cody was charged and convicted of a criminal offense. During his trial, he wanted to introduce expert psychiatric evidence to explain his mental state at the time of the offense. Specifically, he sought to rely on this evidence to support a defense based on mental disorder or automatism, basically arguing that he wasn't fully in control of his actions due to his mental condition. However, the trial judge decided to exclude some of this expert evidence. The judge was concerned about whether the evidence met the criteria for admissibility and whether it was relevant and reliable enough to be presented to the jury. Because of this exclusion, Mr. Cody argued that he was denied the chance to fully present his defense and that his constitutional rights were infringed. This brings us to the key legal issues the Supreme Court had to consider. First, did the trial judge make a mistake by excluding expert psychiatric evidence that was essential to Mr. Cody's defense? Second, did this exclusion violate Mr. Cody's rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, specifically Section 7, which protects the right to life, liberty, and security of the person, and Section 11D, which guarantees the right to a fair trial? Finally, the court had to clarify the proper standard for admitting expert evidence in criminal trials, particularly when the evidence relates to an accused's mental state. At the heart of this case is the tension between two important principles. On one side, courts have a responsibility to act as gatekeepers, ensuring that only reliable and relevant expert evidence is presented to the jury. This helps prevent confusion and unfair prejudice. On the other side, the accused has a constitutional right to make full answer and defense, to present all evidence that might help their case. The Supreme Court's decision in R.V. Cody underscores that excluding expert evidence is not just a procedural matter. When that evidence is crucial to the defense, exclusion can seriously undermine the fairness of the trial. The court emphasized that trial judges need to carefully balance these competing interests. They must ensure the evidence meets certain standards, like relevance and necessity, but also recognize the accused's right to put forward a meaningful defense. What makes this case so important is how it guides courts in handling expert psychiatric evidence going forward. Mental health evidence can be complex and sometimes controversial, but it can also be critical in understanding an accused's state of mind. The ruling in Cody reminds us that courts must be cautious not to shut the door on this type of evidence without good reason, especially when it goes to the heart of the accused's defense. In the bigger picture, R.V. Cody contributes to the evolving landscape of criminal justice in Canada, where the courts strive to protect both the integrity of the trial process and the fundamental rights of individuals. It highlights the vital role expert evidence plays in helping juries make informed decisions, while also reinforcing the safeguards that prevent misuse or over-reliance on such evidence. Thanks for listening to this episode of Bench Briefs. Join us next time as we explore more landmark cases that shape Canadian law and protect our rights. Until then, take care.